Back, and this is TV3 New Day. Good morning to you. For those of you who are expecting to see Roland this morning, I have to sit in his stead because he is currently in the Western region where he'll be coming your way with Community Manifesto. In fact, today Roland is coming your way from the Takrady Lorry Park. And so for those of you who are within that community, make sure you head to, the Sekondi Lorry Park is where he would be. We're in the Sekondi constituency this morning. So if you live around the Lorry Park or somewhere within the constituency and you have time, please make your way to the Lorry Park now. I'm sure they are gathering, and very shortly you'll be allowed to use your voice to speak up on issues concerning your community. And we're streaming live on Facebook as well. And so if you're on Facebook at the moment, share the link, spread the word, let people join in. And that's because while you watch us live, you also get real-time comments from other viewers, and you can drop your comments and questions and opinions as well. And we'll see them live on the show. If there's time, we'll get into that and also introduce some of those questions so our guests can respond to them. So again, at TV3 Ghana on Facebook, you can drop your comments also on X and Instagram at TV3 Ghana. The hashtag is TV3 New Day. And for the rest of you who are watching on TV, you can also watch us on DSTV, channel 279. Remember to play Cash Out while you watch us as well. *439#, select option 2, and just win some cool cash this morning. 3 of you will get 1,000 Ghana cedis each, and all you have to do is just play the game. So what are you waiting for? Grab your phones now and go ahead and play the game. In the studios this morning, we'll be discussing very important topics. This morning, we'll be looking at NDC's reasons for not wanting to sign the peace pact that was introduced, of course, by the National Peace Council. What exactly are their reasons? The National Peace Council has also responded, and they're saying that, of course, the fact that NDC refuses to sign does not mean that any form of violence will break out. But many questions have been raised concerning their inactions towards the many issues that have come up in society in the last couple of years. And so we'll look at that. And also, Galamsey is not stopping anytime soon. In fact, now they're coming into the greater cities as well, because as of 2 days ago, there was a story that broke out concerning a Galamsey activity that was happening along the Accra-Konongo Highway. And the DC, the district, assembly is aware of this as per the request that was sent to them. They were told they'll be dredging. And so how did dredging now become Galamsey? We'll be speaking on that matter as well. In the studios, we have Mr. Abraham Amaleba. He's the Director of Conflict Resolution for the NDC. He also is a lawyer. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm fine. Just to tell you that you are the female version of Roland. So if viewers open their sets and don't see Roland and see you, they are still happy. So don't worry.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I'm not sure why you're saying this. Probably because I said I'm in his stead.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for that.
You are on the seat on your own capacity.
Thank you.
And you have the capacity to be on that seat.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Resolving conflicts already. But I hope you've had a good week.
I had one. Just that you can't say it all that it is good in an economy such as this, but we are trying to float. Yeah.
You'll be fine.
Fine.
You'll be fine.
Okay.
Also, lawyer Kwame Jantua has joined us. He's a private legal practitioner and a member of the CPP, the Conventions People's Party. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I am fine. I've just been wondering why Ghanaians are always being taken for granted.
Why do you say that?
Where's the MPP? Why aren't they here? Why aren't the MPP here? Do they not have a responsibility to Ghanaians? Are they not supposed to be able to espouse what they're doing? Are they not supposed, when we throw things at them, are they not supposed to be able to defend it? Are they not the party in power? And they boycott a station like this. Why? MPP, please come back. The people want to hear. Some of the things we say that you don't agree with, we want to hear. Number 2, cost of data. Why is the cost of data escalating? It's a fundamental human right in some countries. Who is saying anything about it? Why are they taking people for granted? Number 3, the president said they had constructed 12,000 kilometers of road. Is it finished? Are those roads finished? Because, look, and I've been in this road construction business for 10 years before I went in the oil industry. What does it take for a road to be completed? Call Ghana highways, call urban roads. Once the road is finished, you need to put the road safety devices on the road. Are the roads marked? Do the roads have traffic lights? Do the roads have road signs on them? And so if you've done 12,000 kilometers, have you put all these on? And you see, the sad thing is that people are dying, especially at night.
Yeah.
Even if you had markings on the road, it will guide cars on the road. Are the roads marked? Even in Accra, are they marked? So how can the president tell us they have completed 12,000 kilometers of road?
Which is why the MPP should have been here to respond. To
That is why I'm saying, where are they?
They say they're angry.
Angry about what?
I have no idea.
Angry about what? What are they angry about?
Well,
You are the party in power. You have responsibility. Majority of Ghanaians voted for you to be in power. Don't you have a duty of care to them? That you can't come on a show like this?
well, MPP
Here I am
was
talking about 12,000 kilometers of road. I might be wrong. Aren't you supposed to be here to tell me that what you're saying is nonsense?
Yeah.
But you say you won't come because of what? You're taking the people for granted and you want us to vote for you again. Okay, let's see.
Well, you're heated this morning already. And,
I don't, because I don't understand it.
Rightly so. I mean,
I don't understand it.
But let me also introduce my third guest this morning. Nana Sapon is a political aide to Honorable Alan Tremartin, who is the founder of Movements for Change. Good morning. I hope you're well.
I'm doing so very well.
Are you also heated this morning? We have a peace.
No, I was just
We have
trying to help.
Peace Council here, so just in case.
I was just trying to help answer Wolfer's call on why data is so expensive, and that is because of the number of taxes that the telcos are being made to pay. And Alan Tremartin is saying in his GTP on digital mainstreaming as one of the policies, and I'll read to you. After that, I'll give you this hard copy so that you can keep, and I'll get lawyer one. That doesn't mean you should steal our ideas. Thank you.
No, but have they stolen any of your ideas?
Oh, MPP and this one.
Eh.
They are old. Hey.
Hey.
They don't have fresh. Offer tax rebates and other incentives to telcos in order to reduce significantly the cost of data.
Okay.
And I agree when he has said that it is more like a fundamental human right. People should have access to data in order to study, in order to have access to information. Where the world has gotten to, data should be the most cheapest commodity. That, I mean, it should be free. I mean, Bella, recently I saw some videos of you, and I know where you went, that the cost of data in those jurisdictions are very easy, and it all helps us in people are talking about digitalization, am I right? It's one of their, but yet, in their own regime, the cost of data is so high. So what are they digitalizing? I mean, what would we use to access those information?
Speaking of which, they even dashed me data. I'm not there, but I got a message today, and they said I have extra data. I haven't even used the one that I had when I was there. So cheap.
And it's because of the nuisance taxes that we have in our system. And that is what Alan is preaching, that we are going to cut off all of those taxes. We need to set the fundamentals right. We need to set right the foundation. Of course, they are not coming because they are on their way out. What they are saying,
whatever the case is, they have a responsibility to Ghanaians. They can't tell us
they have left the
because we are annoyed, we are not coming.
Well,
Ghanaians want to hear.
Which is why Money, for example, is asking a very important question, that if they should go out of power, will they now resume, the show? And I have no idea if that will be the case. But let's just hope that
now that they have sued you, the media general, would they be able to come?
Oh, but I don't know. I cannot answer.
Oh, okay.
I cannot answer that.
Aren't Ghanaians supposed to hear their point of view on a program like this?
They have to.
Don't Ghanaians deserve to hear what the MPP think?
They are exhausted. Their ideas are all gone.
Let's move on. And good morning to all of you who are watching us on Facebook as well. Kelvin Niashon says they say they are angry because they keep pairing with the NDC. Okay, we hear you. That's not the reason. I'm sure it's probably just the fact that the issues are quite a lot. Mani doesn't want peace. That's Nyo Digni Atukwe. Okay. Pearl Apafu, good morning to you as well. And Mani is still asking those questions. And Peace Council, my foot. That's Nelson Yesuto Kofi Akotia. David says, so those who came, are they managing things well? Okay, well, we'll get into the messages shortly, but let's start off our conversation with the National Peace Council and the NDC. Now, the NDC, through its chairman, a few days ago granted an interview where he indicated that there's no way they will sign any pre-election peace declaration ahead of the 2024 polls. And he says that that's because the Peace Council has been or has shown in action with regards to a lot of the issues that Ghanaians are facing, especially for the party as well. And so we'll play an audio indicating what exactly he said. And right after that, we'll also play a response from the Peace Council saying that they have not betrayed the NDC in any way. And in fact, they have been handling some of these issues behind closed doors. Take a look.
Otherwise, if you allow all those things to build up, and you say that, let us go and play peace football match, let us sign declaration, let us do this with the hope that we will get a peaceful election will not happen. Because we did all this in 2020, all this and more in 2020. Council of State, Peace Council, everybody was involved, signing declarations left, right, center. The 2020 election turned out to be the most violent elections in the whole of the Fourth Republic.
So this year, not
so
signing.
it tells you that signing or no signing is not the issue. What we have to talk about is the building blocks that will create the violence.
And you heard that the chairman of the opposition, NDC...
They themselves agreed that they will police their own people, what they say, how they say it, and all of those things. While they are in a meeting, their people will call us and ask, what is the Peace Council saying? You are a member of that committee. What do you expect from us again? It's difficult to see all these things going on consistently. Peace Council is being blamed left and right. When we are all in a meeting, let your representatives who come to those meetings go back and report. What was it that we discussed? What did we agree on? What are the things that you sign up to? 300 stations. People are listening to different things. And so the accusation will continue. For us, we know what we've done. 2 days ago, when a very high-level meeting represented by these two big parties, top-level people, the issue about recruitment, the issue about all these things that are in the news today, we discussed 2 days ago, cleared the air. The defense minister cleared the air. All these things have been done.
All right, so that is Reverend Dr. Ernest Edu Jemfi. He's the chairman of the National Peace Council. And earlier you heard from the chairman of the NDC, Johnson Asiedu in Ketia. And so I'll start off with you, Council Lawyer Maliba, because you've heard from the chairman of the National Peace Council. He says that even just 2 days ago, you had a meeting where you discussed some of these issues. And really, they cannot be on every platform because there are too many radio stations and TV stations all across the country. And so they have been addressing these issues. And they don't see why you still keep raising objections to how they're handling the many issues that have come up. What would you say?
Let me start by saying good morning to your viewers. You know, signing a peace pact in itself is not a guarantee for peaceful elections. Because you are just putting ink on paper. What the chairman sought to say is this, that there are warning signals which has the potential of disturbing the peace. And if you don't tackle those warning signals, forget it. If we sign a peace pact, there will not be peace. How is this difficult for anybody to understand? For instance, in the last elections, the NDC reported of the thumbprinting of 1 million ballot papers. Close to 1 million ballot papers. We busted those who engage in that in a printing house, an accredited printing house that is supposed to be printing newspapers. The ballot papers were sent to somewhere, guarded by a policeman, and they were burnt. Subsequently, a report was lodged with the police administration. Till this date, till that time, it's almost 4 years now, nothing has been heard. Don't you think that those people who did it and have not been punished will now perfect their act for 2024. And when I talk, I keep quiet for it to sink for everybody to know. So those people have not been punished. And we are going into another election. These are warning signals. What has happened? Ballot papers were found, already unprinted. Can you imagine if this had entered into the system? Then the MPP will go out and say, we have beaten them by 1 million votes. Sometimes these votes that the MPP claim they have won or they have over the NDC is not votes that are lawfully obtained. This is an example of what I'm saying about. The appointment of that guy, the IT guy, in the Brown Afro region, who is now in the EC. We wrote a letter to the Electoral Commission. What's the name? The Council of Elders.
Okay.
Council of State?
Council of State. Drawing their attention to the appointment which seeks to, as it were, politicize the commission. Because this is a known MPP guy who sits like I said. Can you imagine tomorrow me being appointed to the Electoral Commission? What was the response from the Council of Elders? That they can't do anything about it. The man is qualified. Can you imagine?
Did you write to the
We wrote to the
as well?
No, we wrote to
Just
the Council of Elders.
Okay.
Yes, because they would have some jurisdiction over the appointment, because such appointment goes through the Council of Elders.
Yeah.
You know, nothing was said about it. They brushed it aside. Look, Ayawaso West, they told us it was a dress rehearsal. When some people were maimed, today, up to date, they have not compensated those people. I'm following on their compensation.
Nothing has.
Nothing. They have refused to compensate them, even though the Emirshot Commission has recommended compensation.
Exactly.
They've refused. This government has refused. When they were beating us in Ayawaso West Wogo, they were beating and telling us that that's a dress rehearsal. They said it on the video, audio. Techuma. SAF. And in the Techuma SAF, you had state agents, army, aiming at unarmed crowd and killing them. All this put together does not suggest that we are ready to deal with the warning signals. So, just merely signing a peace pact to create the impression that we are for peace, when coming events do not show that there's going to be peace. Look at the recent reckless comment, silly comment made by Brian Champon. This is the third time I, then Director of Legal Affairs, led a group of lawyers to report his conduct to the police administration. I'm sure you knew about it. The police administration met our executives and told them that those comments cannot ground any criminality. So he's free to go. Why wouldn't he continue? Why wouldn't he continue making those comments?
About the fact that they'll do anything possible to win? Is that the one you're referring to?
Yes. And that they weren't going to hand over. He has been making... Don't just look at one of his comments. You can see the series of comments and then you put them together and you look at the net effect of those his comments he has been making. And we have a president in this country who claims he's a Democrat, cannot call his minister to order, or cannot make statements that will erase that perception.
But he's also made statements to reflect that, because he also says that
He's even worse.
Cannot hand over power to someone that he's beaten
He's worse.
in elections.
He's worse. The late Professor Mills, you remember when the late chairman of the NDC made comments about the judiciary? He was out of this country. When he returned, you saw the comment he made to douse the effect of what the chairman said. That is leadership. And that's why I expected our stubborn Akufo-Addo, to have also dealt with this matter and said, look, our democracy is not for, it's not to be toyed with.
But Nana B has said, and yesterday he spoke, he says that we seem to have misconstrued what the Minister of Agric said. And that if he says that they're going to do everything possible to win the elections, then he's probably referring to the fact that when it comes to ensuring that they encourage people to vote and do the right things to win, that's what he's talking about. And nothing to do with violence. That's what Nana B is saying.
And I'm saying that, put together all his comments. If this man had just spoken just yesterday, probably we would say that out of the political desire to support his party, he said this. But this man has been making series of comments. The combined effect of those series of comments is what Ghanaians are talking about. I must commend, to be honest, the president of the Catholic Bishops' Conference, who came out boldly to confront him and literally made it clear that he's a little ant and he cannot say he won over.
Yeah.
Me, the very time I saw Rawlings handing over to Kufuor, I said, nobody can ever say he won our hand over again. Who are you, Brian Champo, to say that you won't hand over? So when you look at how the Peace Council, Moral Voices, faith-based organizations, civil society are mum in some of these things, are not talking to condemn some of these things, then it creates the impression that we are not ready for the peace, just that we want to sign the peace pact. And
so your concern is the fact that they just remain quiet.
They've just remained quiet. Nobody's
if they had
addressing.
spoken, would this have changed anything?
If they had spoken, it gives a signal to the NDC that we are not alone in fighting for free, fair, and just elections.
Okay.
If they had dealt with the 1 million ballots, is that not a serious crime enough where you have 1 million ballots already printed and were to be put into the system? Because when you print 1 million ballots, you are not printing them to just put them down. And so if you look at the pockets of events and the refusal of the Peace Council, and let me say this, the Peace Council should change its modus operandi. This, we are meeting the parties behind the scenes, is no more tenable.
What would you rather?
What they should do is to always come out with a statement that suggests that they are on top of the issues. Because if they come to meet the NDC, the man on the street doesn't know that that is happening.
Okay.
That is not how to deal with situations where greater majority of Ghanaians are interested in. This democracy is not for only NDC and MPP.
Okay.
So they should be proactive and they shouldn't wait for the issues to get stale before they comment. Luckily enough, yesterday, they put together a committee, which I am representing the NDC in, and I told them yesterday that what they should be doing is to be issuing press statements. They should be condemning openly.
All right.
I told them yesterday they should be condemning openly.
Because in the meetings you have, they condemn actions. Do they condemn actions of government or anybody else in the meetings that you have with them? Like the private meetings you have?
They won't come out to condemn. They will be diplomatic. Okay. You know, they say they are always diplomatic. They don't want to, as it were, put fire in the situation.
Even in the private meetings that you have?
Yes, they will not come out to condemn.
Not even condemning
they
in the
won't come
private
out.
meetings. What
They
makes
won't come out to condemn openly. So I told them that one, some of the interventions should be statements condemning acts, name and shame, and then ensure that they intervene quickly.
All right.
And don't allow the issue to go stale before. And they've taken that on board.
All right. Let me bring Lawyer Jantua in because, again, you are also a member of the CPP. I want to understand if you side with the NDC's decision not to sign the peace pact. Do you as a party also have the same concerns that the NDC has with regards to how the Peace Council has conducted itself in the last couple of years?
Good morning to our viewers. But let me start by saying at least somebody in Oforipenyi Fie has listened to my advice to go to court on this Ejapade thing. This is a writ of summons that they've gone to court on. It is more specific on defamation than on the document.
Yeah.
But if it goes to court, this document will come out because they need to give reasons. But one thing that is missing on this summons is the NDC.
Why should they be on there?
The president said it's his opponents who have generated this document. And if the opponents are defaming you, they have to be on the summons. Amalba, have they brought you some summons?
That I don't know. But if your name is not on the rate, how will you be served?
Well, I'm saying your name is not on there.
Or maybe they might file another one.
I'm saying that your name should be on here because the president has said this originates from his opponents.
Okay.
But thank God, they watch us and they are listening. It's good. You were talking about...
The National Peace Council.
Look, what is the use of signing a peace accord if that peace accord does not have fire behind it? So you sign the peace accord and the elections, there's violence. What is the use of that peace accord? Look, what are the responsibilities of the Peace Council? 1, promoting peace. 2, conflict resolution. 3, dispute settlement. 4, community engagement. 5, research and analysis. 6, capacity building. 7, collaboration. 8, early warning. 9, reconciliation. And it's the 10th one that I want to ask a question on, advising government. What have they advised government concerning comments of some of the MPP members with regards to these elections? When the president said he won't hand over to any other person but his own, did they go to him and ask him why he said that?
What if they did?
So they should let us know. The Peace Council are there because of the people of Ghana. They should make whatever discussions they have, they should make it known to us. They should be advising us periodically, not only when elections come up. But I ask the question, the legislature and the executive, how many people? Would I be right in saying, you know, the legislature is 275? Will I be right in saying a figure of 450? Will I be right in saying that? Putting executive and legislature together. Will I be right in saying that? Even let's say 500. How can 500 people, how can 500 people try their possible best to put fear in 32 million people? How? Why? Why is it that every election we have to cry and beg for peace? Why? Is it not just election? You either win or you either lose. Simple. Why do we have to always beg for politicians to please not do things that can throw this country into the abyss? Why? In other countries that we want to follow, do we see this? Or is it because when they are in power, some of the things they do, the people are not for it, so they need to protect themselves? Is that why? And when we vote the people in power, is it not the people who have put you there? Are you not there to serve us? And sometimes I blame us. Why? Because we treat our presidents and our executive and our legislature as gods. Once they get there, we have to kuto to them. No, it is wrong. It is wrong. So you sign a peace agreement with no power behind it. Last election, how many people died? 8 people.
8 people, yes.
What has the president said about it? Has he ever commented about those 8 people? Has he ever gone to visit these people who lost their family members? Has he ever? And so if you tell us that you are president for all, and things like this happen under an election, and you do nothing about it, okay, let's put President Akufo-Addo aside. His term is ending. What about Vice President Baumia, who is crying to be president, who says he's a mate, but now he will be a driver? The first point of call for Vice President Baumia was to go to those people. Those 8 people who died, was to visit those families. First point of call, as a responsible vice president. Has he done it? Has it happened? So tell me what the use of signing paper would do. Tell me. And the Peace Council, they tell you that, oh, we don't have those powers that we can hold people responsible. Huh? Come back to the people. Come back to the people. And you see, for me, the most dangerous bit of it all is our security services. So Brian Champong makes such comments. You get such comments from this, and you won't call him and question him. My friend, what did you mean by the comment you made?
Especially because he also was a minister of defense,
yes,
I believe, right?
But it's up
So
to
for him to even
no,
make such a statement.
This can't. This
National security. Okay.
Can
pardon
you
me, yes,
imagine?
security, yes.
Can you imagine Kamala Harris or Trump or what do you call it? Scammer, the British Prime Minister during election, saying, or even the Conservative Prime Minister who left recently, saying in front of number 10 Downing Street that whatever the case is, they won't hand over.
No, they dare not even make that statement.
Dare not even.
Yeah.
MI5 will quickly. When the past Prime Minister of the UK, he didn't wear his seatbelt. What happened? What happened? What happened? When another Prime Minister made a comment, forgetting that the mic was still on, what happened? So why are we treating those we vote into power like gods? What is the fear? What is the fear? What is the false evidence appearing real with these people? What is the fear? That the economy is such that people can't make ends meet. And we are scared to talk about it. And that's why I asked the question, where's the MPP on this table? They have a responsibility. The president has a responsibility to the people of Ghana. And when Brian Champong makes such a comment, has the president called him to ask him, my friend, what are you talking about? Has he? Or has he clapped his hands for him? Or Brian Champong feels that he has the power because the president is in consonance with him? Is that what it is?
I mean, if you look at the demeanor of the people who were seated behind him when he made that statement, they all burst into laughter, sort of, when he said you can go and burn the sea.
Because they've taken us for granted. And that is the challenge we have in this country. They have taken us for granted because they feel Nanado coming in, Ghana is theirs.
So does it mean the CPP will not sign
and
this peace pact
I'll
as well?
continue to say, one of the major challenges we have with President Akufo-Addo's government is because they feel Nkrumah snatched their possession from them when he came. And they've got to take that possession back, and we are subjects for them. He should prove it. That is not so. Because you do not understand why you make inflammatory comments like that and the president is quiet. And the president seems to be quiet about so many things till last minute, till things get bad.
So the CPP will not sign?
Well, at that point, I cannot speak.
Okay, all right.
I cannot speak for them.
Okay.
At this moment, because I don't think the executives have said anything, but I'm sure they have met the Peace Council. The Peace Council has said some of the smaller political parties are ready to sign. But for me, the signing, what is the impact of the signing? Once we sign, what is the impact? What are you going to tell those who want to foment trouble when that peace pact is signed? What are you going to tell them?
But we've been signing this in the last couple of years. And so
I'm
what
saying,
makes it different? Is it the fact that things have de-escalated?
We've been signing it because we are scared politicians will make inflammatory comments.
Yeah.
But if they make inflammatory comments and violence still happens, what do we do about it? Like 2020.
Okay.
What do you do about it?
Nelson Yesuto says that, Mr. Janta, don't worry, they should bring it on. NPP have no idea what is coming. And Catherine Michelle says, and Brian Echampon was the brain behind the violence at Ayaoso West. We have not forgotten. Mani says that the NPP should not think people don't know how to light a lighter. Whatever happens in the country will affect you more than anyone, the peace or Christian Council. That's Awal Mohammed. And so the comments clearly speak to the fact that they also don't see why there should be a need to sign this peace pact when issues regarding peace have not been addressed in the country.
Bella, before my brother comes, let me ask a question. Have you seen any of the coups?
I haven't experienced, but I've read what's happening in Mali, in Senegal. Well, not Senegal, pardon.
I have seen 66.
Burkina Faso.
I've seen 79. It is no mean feat. Don't let us go down that route. If we are talking violence, go look at what happened in 66.
Okay.
The number of people who died, the way this country was thrown back, that we are suffering for it now.
Nanaya, what do you make of this as well? And has your movement been approached to sign a peace pact as well?
Thank you very much, Bella, and good morning to your cherished viewers and my senior colleagues. I wanted to start from where Lajantua landed, and just want to draw his attention to the fact that 66 is too far. They should just play us the videos of what is happening in Kenya. and what happened in Mali some few days, or is it Burkina Faso in some few days ago, and then you would get a clearer picture. This is the black and white.
But we need to learn from history.
But you see,
we need to learn from history.
I think John Tua's point is that people don't think that it can happen here.
Yes.
Yes.
And it has happened here before.
It's just happened next door, so it can happen. Of course, we are just sitting on time bomb, and they should take that into consideration. Well, the Peace Council has a mandate. Now, I have two lawyers here, so when I go wrong, I'm not a lawyer. When I go wrong and I'm not able to say it right, I think I'll get people to help me out. If you take a look at the Act 818 that established the Peace Council, the object of the council, as stated in the Act, says that the object of the council is to facilitate and develop mechanisms for conflict prevention, 2, management, 3, resolution, and to build sustainable peace in the country. And so the Peace Council's mandate is not during elections. The Peace Council's mandate goes beyond elections. And so if we only hear of the Peace Council during elections, then they are not fulfilling the object of the act that established them. Well, it's unfortunate that we are here today. The Peace Council, in my view, has not lived to expectations. I am personally disappointed in the Peace Council. I'm sorry. That is not the stand of Alan or the Movement for Change. This is my personal opinion. I am personally disappointed.
How long have you been disappointed at them? And at what point did you get to the realization that
I got disappointed. I got disappointed when
Roland-like question.
when a deputy national security minister who had witnessed a by-election that was closed with violence made a statement on a political platform saying that they would not hand over today or tomorrow, and the Peace Council did not crack the whip. My disappointment extended when that same person repeated himself. The first one he made was in 2022. Repeated himself in 2023. And then in that statement, he says he just wants to place emphasis on the statement he had made previously. And now this person is elevated to the position of a cabinet minister.
Yeah.
And then says that we can go and bend the sea. And they were laughing. If you watch the video after he said that,
Yeah. They laughed.
and they were laughing.
Incredulous.
How do we give you the power, the authority to lead our country, and then you threaten us with violence, with intimidation, and you do it with impunity, and you laugh? Sometimes you make statements and you end the statement and yourself, you are shocked, and then something gets to your mind and go like, oh, why did I say this? No, but this one, after it was said, and they were laughing. And it's not funny. And the Peace Council has said nothing about it. Bella, if you're looking at the elements of an election that would bring about peace, it's not that paper that they would go and sign. Practically, that is the last thing when you have even researched. I mean, some of my seniors who have done courses in security and elections, they know that is practically the very last thing. The actions and the statements by candidates, when not looked at, can trigger violence than not signing that piece of paper. And Alan Tremantin had the opportunity on Sunday to visit the Parliament Chapel when Apostle Francis Amoakwanta was having the 60th birthday Thanksgiving service.
Okay.
And when given the opportunity to speak, after he had actually congratulated Apostle and spoken about his GTP and why Ghanaians should vote for a Christ-like leader, in wrapping up, he said that we have no other country to go to. The only country we have is Ghana. And for that matter, there is the need for us to all preach peace. And he cannot lead a country that is in jeopardy, a country that would be affected by violence and be destroyed. And for that matter, we should all come together as one people and have a peaceful election. And in his statement, there was a bishop from Liberia who had come. He said, if we had time, we would have just given the mic to the bishop from Liberia to tell us a little about the violence, the political violence that had actually taken place in Liberia and the effect it did have and is still having on the people. And these are statements that we should be seeing and encouraging all of those individuals who have actually expressed their intentions to contest for the seat of the president in December. None of them, I have not heard any of them, aside Alan Tremantin, I have not heard any of them make publicly called out for peace.
You haven't heard any of the parties?
I've not heard of them. That's it, John Onkebi.
Has he?
No, not yet.
He says he hasn't heard any of the other parties
Alaji has not made a
openly calling
statement
for peace.
calling for peace.
The NDC has been talking about peaceful elections.
I said the candidates.
Okay, so it's the candidates that you're expecting
Of
to
course.
speak.
They are leading the troop. The conduct by the Electoral Commission to be able to supervise a free and fair election, their actions and inactions, is something that the Peace Council should be looking at. We shouldn't have an Electoral Commission that would go into an IPAC meeting and come and tell us that we will not take the decisions and resolutions that have taken place. We shouldn't have an Electoral Commission that would come and tell us that they would do what they feel they have to do and not what we think that would be fair. Bella, we should also look at the security and law enforcement agencies.
What exactly should we be
You
looking at?
cannot have the police doing recruitment some few days into elections, and those new recruits would be those that would be pushed to the election area.
Is that the plan? Is that what has
That
been
has
said?
always been. That has always been it. The NDC did it, the NPP did it, and Ghanaians have been crying. And Bella, you go out there during elections, you go out there and you see these new recruits that they don't know their left from their right. And these are issues that the Peace Council should be dealing with. One other thing that is actually an element that we in the movement for change, and for that matter, Alan Tramantin is looking at, is the winner takes all syndrome. If we have a government of national unity that prioritizes the Ghana agenda, we will not have these political parties fight over nothing. And so the government of national unity should be a call by all.
Okay.
So that we are able to deal with that winner takes all syndrome.
All right.
Bella,
Please learn from me.
the very last one is for us to have an issue-based campaign. If you've noticed, anybody from the movement that comes on any of the platforms is very much focused on dealing with issues of bread and butter and how we are going to solve the current economic crisis that we are in. We come with our GTP and we speak to issues.
Okay.
We tell Ghanaians what we would do. We tell Ghanaians how we are going to do it. We do not come to beat war drums. And I think that the media would have to take that up.
Is there any other party that's beating war drums?
Oh, no. Go and bend the sea. And,
Okay, so they're the ones you're referring to.
And the other one that does this. Huh?
So you're referring to the NDC as well.
The other one that does
You're
this.
referring to the NDC as well.
What is that? What is that? What does that sign mean?
What does that sign mean? Lawyer One
What does that sign mean? But Graphic Online, June 4th, 2024, NDC committed to peaceful elections, Mahama. And this is what he just said briefly. Former President Mahama has pledged the commitment of the National Democratic Congress to peaceful elections on December 7th, 2024. This puts to paid your comment.
Can you help me check that of Alaji?
Who?
Alaji.
Who's Alaji?
Baumian.
Dr. Baumian.
But why? Don't you have the... Go and talk to his people to do that.
I want us to move to our next topic, but I don't know if you want to just touch on this briefly. He brought in the issue of recruitment, even in the security agencies, and that has also generated a lot of talk. Yesterday, the Interior Minister spoke on this matter, and he says that he did not, in any form, try to bribe the NDC MPs in Parliament to at least bring in 2 people from their constituencies to, join the security recruitment, just so that they can go ahead and allow this activity to go on. He says that's not true.
You know why I don't believe the minister? Because he actually admitted that he met the MPs.
Yes.
But just that he didn't attempt to bribe them, and that bribe is a strong word. So it is his understanding of what he did. He admitted that he did what he did, but it is not a bribe. He admitted that because he said that the MPs have always been complaining that their constituents apply, but they don't get admitted or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And because of that, he engaged them to say they should bring two. He admitted to that.
He didn't say he engaged them to bring 2. He said that he told them to apply again, especially for those who had applied and didn't get it.
So apply again means what? When the matter before you is about your illegal recruitment of people into the security service or your wrongful recruitment. So I don't believe him but I'll believe my chairman because his own statements gave him out. Okay. But you see, our understanding is also that there are some training also going on at the military barracks at a chance. Where is that place? Their training center there.
What kind of training?
We know that they are training these people to put them out there on the election day.
Okay.
But how they are going to deploy them is what we are yet trying to get.
Are they training recruits or new people altogether?
There's some training about them that they want to use them for the elections. So it's not only...
Are these military men, are these security
that
officials?
That is what I'm just saying, that we need to get more information on that.
Okay, so you don't have it, okay.
Yes,
okay.
So we need to get more information on that.
Okay.
And I'm following through to get that information. I'll put it out here when we meet.
All right.
But it is not only the police. It is also with the military. And we are watching the scene to see how we... But because these elections, no security man, no police officer, no army officer can stop or subvert the will of the people. It won't happen.
All right.
It won't happen.
Let's just go into the Galamsey conversation now. And so 2 days ago, lawyer, you wanted to touch on this as well?
I just wanted to touch on it.
Okay.
In terms of security, whose responsibility is it? Is it not the police?
It's police.
Is it the army?
No.
So what are the army doing where elections are concerned?
The IGP the last time, he said that the police is understaffed, let me put it that way, and that they get the support from other security agencies. But then it is the police that leads.
Whose responsibility is it
that is plenty of English.
Hire people into the security services? What is the responsibility of the ministry? The ministry is a policy body. What do they have to do with recruitment of people into the security services?
But he clearly stated that it's not their job to recruit.
So then what was he saying about this 222 thing? What was he saying about it? Did he actually confirm that the ministry has never tried to recruit people into the security services? Did he say that? Or did he admit that such a thing has gone on? And you see, it's not only the government in power. When the NDC were in power, these things happened. Look, we need to reset this economy. We need to reset this economy. Why? Because people take things for granted and feel they have the right and power to do certain things. The army is not supposed to be on the streets during election. The only time you would bring the army in is when there's grave violence that the police can't handle on the day. So what are we doing?
All right.
And how does that help a political party if the political party's intention isn't to steal elections? How?
I'll just let us land on this.
Bella, just
you
one
have touched
second.
on it already, which is why I don't want to come back to
I just want to help
One
lawyer
second.
to solve this problem, and that is to vote Alan. And I read, amend Article 70 from the GTP. Amend Article 70, 190, 195, 202, 207, 212, 2322 related to the appointment of heads of independent constitutional bodies and other public sector entities and the heads of security services to make the appointment of the said officers by the president subject to approval of the security branch. Okay. Now, if you have heads of security being appointed by the president, then it is the president and his party in power that would control.
Tell Alan that it is suicidal for him to leave the presidency, to leave the appointment of security agencies to another body.
It's suicidal?
No. Suicidal.
No.
We're getting into conversations we didn't plan for, but
not at all. Somebody else should appoint a security chief for a president.
If we want to deal with the canker that is going on, all right?
Is that what happens?
And that is why Alan is preaching that you have given so much powers to the president that presidents feel like they are gods. And lawyers,
but there's so much power is about other areas.
You understand?
Where the president appoints,
and of course,
where the president appoints communication officer for
if
gas.
If you have
those
read
are the
it,
things.
But
the security chief of the country, you say somebody else should appoint him for him.
If we would want to go into
1 second
it.
is up. We cannot go into it, unfortunately. But let's get into Galamsey. We just have a couple
Why
of
the president appoints a Ghana gas?
You know why he's
But-
fighting
but-
it? Because when they have had the opportunity after 30 years to come into power, they would want to also recruit.
Well, so there's Galamsey apparently happening along the Accra-Konongo Highway, and our reporters from the Northern Bureau, along with our reporters in the newsroom here in Accra, were able to gather some information and also get some videos with regards to that. In fact, we're told that there are a number of excavators that were busily digging. Well, they said they had told the assembly that they were going to dredge the area, which we're told is a wetland. But in actual fact, what we're seeing on the screen does not look like mere dredging. And from our reporters, they're indicating that what is actually happening is Galamsey, and community members have complained about this incessantly. This has been going on apparently for months. And there was a conversation or an interview that was had with a rep from the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency. Let's listen to what exactly he had to say as to whether he was aware or the agency was aware that something like this was happening.
What we can relate to it was a recent letter that we got from the Municipal Assembly that they wanted to undertake dredging. So when we got, it's only this week that we got information about the mining activities that is taking place there. From what we are gathering, it's not the dredging exercise that we were informed. So we need to go there and then we inform the appropriate quarters. But for now, there's no license company to undertake any mining activity in that area. So whatever is taking place there, if it is not a dredging exercise, then it is illegal.
Dredging exercise, then it is illegal. They just found out about this about a week ago or 2 weeks ago. And they found out that what was happening was actually Galamsey. I mean, this is disturbing, Lawyer Maliba, is it not?
Once upon a time, there was a president who said that he would put his presidency on the line to fight Galamsey. With this revelation, what would that president do? Will he leave us in peace? Because it appears when President Akufo-Addo speaks, matters get worse. I remember when he stood before Ghanaians and said, "There shall no be haircuts." And the next day, there were a lot of haircuts. I think that as a country, where we have gotten to with this administration is a lost story. It is lost. We can't do anything to salvage this president and his government. Because this Galamsey, we knew were in bushes. Now they are bringing the Galamsey into city centers and beneath our roads. And are they saying that during this period when this Galamsey was taking place, there was no official of the Minerals Commission, there was no official of the EPA who plied that road to see what is happening, or even the roads ministry, when their roads were being chipped off, they didn't see? Is it the case that those who are in government today just simply want to amass wealth with their 2 fingers and their 2 hands? Is that what they want? But the welfare of the people is no longer their interest. Is that what the story is about? See, which sector of the economy is doing well? Give me one area which you think that you can give this government a plus. It's difficult. It's very difficult. And yet, they are where the people of Ghana know their scorecard, and they will be preaching to the people that they will win this election. And I dare ask them, suppose the NDC was in power with this bad economy, this bad governance, would they agree that the NDC will win the elections? So why do they think that the people of this country wash their faces upside down and will vote for them? If not, they want to compromise the votes of the people. So, Bella, I am at my wit's point. I can't tell you how we can resolve this matter, because we have a government that is stubborn. And if you have a bad person who becomes a president, it won't change you. If somebody was a bad father, bad individual, when he becomes president, it will reflect. I heard some NPP guys were caught at the eastern region there about having stolen some electric poles. Why wouldn't they do that? Because they see there are people at the top doing the same thing. So it's a rotten case. Bella, I'm sorry. That's how I'll end it.
It's a rotten case, you
say. It's a rotten case.
Rajantwa, I mean, you hear from the EPA rep, and he says that they only found out just a few weeks ago that this was actually happening. We're told this was happening for months. This is by the highway.
How possible? It's not in the bush somewhere. It's not in a forest area somewhere where you can't go and inspect. This is Gani in front of you. And what they've done is affecting the integrity of the road. Yeah. And he's saying he knows nothing about it. This is why national security should go and question him. Should go and question him. If we say Galamsey is a stain on our country, then national security should do something about it. But anyway, the president has given up, hasn't he? The president has given up. What did he say to us? I'm putting my presidency on the line. He's leaving in the next 4 months. Where's Galamsey? Hasn't it gotten worse? How many times in your house does water go off in a week?
It only flows once a week in my
Once
house.
a week.
Yeah.
Sometimes twice a week. What is the reason? Because fresh water is now contaminated. Yeah. And even Galamsey water is now entering the sea. Don't we see the challenge there? Look, President Baumia, Vice President Baumia, one of the things you should be talking about is Galamsey. All the things he talks about. The land is where everybody lives. What happened in Takwa once upon a time? When people mining under people's houses, go and see where those houses are today. Is it that we don't care? Is it that you cannot shift the people's mindset? If they were growing food by the roadside, who will complain? Who will complain? But you leave people. And when they interviewed, I listened to an interview on Joy FM yesterday from one of the people. He said, well, Akufo-Addo and Baumia haven't created anything for us.
Exactly.
What do you expect us to do? We don't have money to live. Our existence is on the line. So what do you want us to do?
And even the chief also reiterated this comment. There was a chief in Achimwenchi who had also said that if they are not creating jobs for the young people, even though they are the custodians of the lands, they cannot stop the young people from engaging in Galamsey.
But you see, this is where the chiefs also make a mistake. Governments come, governments go, chiefs are there. They should find ways of creating employment for the people. They should find a way. They should find a way. And there are ways.
Isn't that a job of government? Isn't it a job of the chiefs?
It is a job of all of us. It's the job of all of us. Okay. Ours is to make sure that government puts the right infrastructure and policy in place for people to now take advantage of it. So, if for anything at all, a chief can tell his people, look, this Galamsey is wrong, it is bad. Let's look at how we would start farming and doing agriculture on a large scale, and they link into the regional minister, they link into government, for government to say, okay, we'll do A, B, C, D, E. Look, where I come from, I come from Mampon, Ashanti. My chief, the Mampon chief, Nana Bonsu, has dared anybody try and come and do Galamsey Mampon. Try.
There's no Galamsey.
Yeah. Huh?
There's no Galamsey.
No Galamsey Mampon. Okay. You'll find out. There's no Galamsey there. So if chiefs can put their foot down, like Otumfo has put his foot down, and the stooling chiefs who are doing Galamsey, if they could all come on block and put their foot down and handle those doing Galamsey, will that not help? Look, 3/4 of Ghana's land mass is said to be covered in oil and gas. From what GMPC have done so far on the seismics onshore
Yeah.
for oil and gas. They found some good deposits around the Kintampo area. If it so happens that, yes, we have huge oil deposits,
Yeah.
and the land has turned into Galamsey, how do we do it? How do we do it? You see, the government should be bold enough to say, small scale Galamsey, we are banning for the next 10 years.
But
They
they
should be able to say
banned.
it.
They banned them for a while. You remember
And what
at the
happened?
beginning of the fight
And what
against
happened?
Galamsey. Eventually, they
And what
took away
happened?
that ban.
And that is why I'm saying a democracy is not a democracy for development. A democracy is a democracy for elections and procurement. That is what a democracy has turned into. Because once election is over, everybody goes to bed. Peace Council should be working throughout the year. Should be making sure you speak and train to people, work with the chiefs. Galamsey should be on Peace Council's list.
Okay.
Because it's destroying our country.
Bella,
Let me let Nana out.
I beg you, if you can wrap your head around this small text,
Okay.
you give me 1 minute, a second.
30
The
seconds.
Galamsey, this is a resident of Konongo. The Galamsey is taking place right behind the Minerals Commission office in Konongo. Can you wrap your head around
What?
this? This is a resident from Konongo.
Well,
The
we have-
Galamsey is taking place right behind the Minerals Commission's office in Konongo. This is a resident of Konongo. I can give you his first name.
Yeah.
Yabua.
And producers, if we can just check with the Northern Bureau team if they also were able to detect if that's actually true.
Can you wrap your head around this
When
one?
the president comes to tell you that's a member of his party who is heavily into Galamsey, he comes to tell you Akonta mining is no forest
yeah.
area. What do you expect the people to say and do if the president himself can say such a thing?
I mean, do you get a sense that government really cares about the people, especially because even beyond destroying our lands, yes, it's affecting our water bodies, and that also has an effect on us. Because in these mining areas, we're told by the medical service that a lot of people are now reporting issues of kidney failure.
Yes.
Because of the kind of
Yes.
water that we're consuming.
Yes.
Yesterday, a man in the community said he has to now put charcoal in his water to purify it before he can drink as a result of the activity that's going on.
Did you not see pictures of a sheep with double head? Do you not see those
Yeah.
pictures in the Galamsey areas? Do you not see fetuses conjured in a certain way? Do we not see it? And we sit and do nothing about it. Mr. President, before you leave, the 4 months before you leave, please put something in place where Galamsey is concerned. Please.
In
Nana.
our view, we are declaring the Galamsey issue as a matter of national security. This is actually a matter of national security. When you look at the effects of Galamsey, as you're saying, aside it affecting settlements, aside its effect on our land, the water, the food. Bella, I know most of us, when traveling from Accra, because of traffic situation, we go by air. But mostly I drive. And if anybody comes out to tell me that they do not know and they have not seen the videos that you showed, then the person is not in Ghana. It is not as though there are some trees that are covering
Area.
the activity. No,
Open.
it's open, broad daylight. And it's not as though they work in the night. When you are driving past, there's this sort of a bridge when you are leaving.
Culvert.
Yes, the covered, they use it. It's there. No, so even if the EPA from Accra, the head office, are not seeing it, do they not have an EPA office in that area?
They do. They do, which is why the gentleman is saying he was not aware until
And so you
recently.
come to tell me that you are not aware of the activities of Galamsey. But Bella, it all boils down to leadership. leadership having the conviction and believe in what they say and actually pushing to ensure that what they say is implemented. And so, if you have a leader who believes himself and can able to say and that he is accountable and should be held accountable, if you have that level of leadership of integrity, just as Alan Chamantin is preaching, we can take this war up. But fortunately, you were present during the media engagement by Alan Chamantin. Now, on the issue of the management of our natural resources, even before I come to that, lawyer made mention of the fact that we should be able to have our chiefs deeply involved in the management of our natural resources and the fight against galamsey. On the governance cluster of the Great Transformational Plan, Alan is proposing that we deepen the participation of chiefs and queen mothers in local government administration by creating specific roles for chiefs and queen mothers within the local government structures. That aside them having that traditional authority, because of the modern times we find ourselves, let us create roles for them to also have that level of political authority to be able to stamp their feet. Because no chief would be interested in having galamsey affect his people and him driving in big cars. In any case, the licenses that are given to these companies that they also push on to the people who go to do galamsey are not issued by the chiefs. They're done here in Accra. So what authority do the chiefs even have? But if we have been able to give them specific roles in the local government structure, that is, that when you have come within their jurisdiction, they are able to stamp some level of political and administrative authority over it. I
mean, they don't have to have that because, again, like the Domahine has said, nobody should dare come and do galamsey in this area.
We have existing legislations and regulations.
Okay.
But it is the enforcement of it that is causing the troubles we have.
Okay.
Otumfuo, in one of his speeches, stated that the people in the room where he was delivering the speech are they to tell him that they do not know those who are involved in galamsey.
We have to wrap up.
But then we are saying that some level of authority should be given. And leadership should be dealt with.
Chiefs are also complicit.
Well, on that note, thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us. We once heard party needs money, so they were involved in illegal money, and that's money need money. And John Bosco says EPA boss must resign. And he's asking himself again, me, under Nanado's government. Okay, so you don't think that can happen? I mean, how? Galamsey happening right behind the Mineral Commission office. Ghana, so much impunity. I've seen all your messages. Good morning, Mr. Robert Kuzo. I know you're watching. Also to Mr. Eric Olam. Good morning to you as well. Mr. Eric, did I say Olam? Eric from Olam. He says that bad leadership, widespread poverty, and lack of alternative income earning opportunities are the root cause of this menace, galamsey. Quite a long message. I cannot read all. But good morning to everyone else who has also sent messages. Prominent individuals and entities engaged in galamsey use their undisclosed profits to influence officials mandated to scrutinize the sector. Guy G, good morning to you as well. And thank you all for your messages. This morning, I've been speaking to lawyer Abraham Maliba. He is the head or the director of conflict resolution under the NDC. So I guess you resolve this conflict between yourself and Peace Council and eventually sign, hopefully. And also lawyer Kwame Jantua is a private legal practitioner and member of the Convention People's Party. And Nana Yao Sapong is a political aide to Alan Chamantin, who is the founder of movement for change. Thank you all for joining me on the show this morning. And very shortly, we'll be crossing over to the Sekondi Lorry Park, where today's edition of Community Manifesto will be coming away with Roland Walker. But before that, also know that Nashiko's show Just As premieres tonight at 7. And we'll be discussing that even further with Cookie after sports. Just remind us, we'll step into the world of Dewa. It's like you're ready to get up. Easy. Easy. We're resolving conflict here. Step into the world of Dewa 539 for your chance to win big with Dewa Direct and Dewa Chop Money. With Dewa Direct, dial star 446 hash, pick 1 to 39 and win 20 times, 40 times or 400 times your stake, and win cash every evening at 7 p.m. and on Sundays at 6 p.m. Early birds love Dewa Chop Money. At 10 a.m., dial star 446 hash, choose 1 to 39 and win 20 times, 40 times or 400 times. Play at dewa-nla.com or dial star 446 hash and call them now on 055-6259-249 or 053-2479-879. Dewa Afa. I hope you've been playing cash out. You can win 1,000 Ghana cedis this morning. Just dial star 439 hash and select option 2. Thank you again, and we'll be back with more. It's still the day show. Well, look at me. It's still the TV3 New Day. Yeah, I've been shooting day shows, so that's what will happen. It's still TV3 New Day. We'll be right back with more.
Prophecy time.
Abraham and Sarah, Mubanya twins. Go and buy jacket. You are going to Canada. Hallelujah. The best born Wamba. Master, what the Canada? You go to jail. Born a wow. What you need? Because of my mepa. Business is bread, school fees, chop money. Funeral bills, suppliers, in-laws, side chicks. Oh yes, I book count. Oh how na spiritual. For bills. Bills micro credit. Listen why? Bills micro credit. From Mambabwa. Ati. Kwanaka from. Next.
Everyone is running to Bills. Enjoy the peace of mind that comes with acquiring any of our loan facilities. For whoever you are and whatever you're doing, Bills has a product for you. No susu, no deposits. All you need is your Ghana card. Bills, financing your needs.
Hello, Bills.
Intense. Fresh. Long-lasting. And strong. Touch concentrated perfume. One touch is all you need. This advert is FDA approved.
In a place where conviction meets compassion, Heritage Christian University College stands tall, shaping futures and societies. Here, creativity isn't just a concept, it's the fuel for social change. But it's not just about entrepreneurship, it's about nurturing a spirit of service and community. We instill in our students the values of leadership and giving back. Our graduates don't just earn degrees, they embody entrepreneurship, philanthropy, ethics, and global competence. Heritage is where innovation thrives amidst a serene environment, offering unparalleled experiences. Come, be part of our journey where creativity and community unite to shape a better tomorrow. Heritage Christian University College, educating compassionate.